Here's a thought that honestly kind of stopped me in my tracks. Half of all vision problems, preventable.
It's a powerful statistic, isn't it?
It really is. Half. I mean, it makes you think, doesn't it? What could we actually do differently? What simple things could protect our own eyesight?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're working from this really solid, medically reviewed guide. It cuts through a lot of the noise,
Right, yeah.
and just lays out practical, everyday steps you can take for healthier eyes, fewer problems down the line.
Exactly. And we're not talking about like miracle cures or anything crazy.
Yeah.
The mission here is just to equip you with clear, understandable strategies, things you can actually use to safeguard your sight now and, well, for the future. It's about making informed choices, really.
Little things add up.
Totally. Okay, so where do we start? The guide points pretty strongly towards what we eat, our plates.
Yeah, the diet-eye health connection was huge.
Yeah.
More significant than a lot of people might think.
Yeah.
Your eyes need specific stuff to work well, stay healthy. And the source really highlights several key nutrients, especially for preventing those age-related things like macular degeneration and cataract.
Right, okay, so we're talking things like omega-3s, lutein, zinc, vitamin C and E, those kinds of powerhouses.
Precisely those.
So if someone wants to boost those, what should be on their grocery list? What foods pack that punch?
Okay, so for omega-3s, you're looking at oily fish. Think salmon, tuna, sardines, great sources.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, with omega-3s, there's EPA and DHA is actually a structural part of your retina,
Wow, okay, so it's literally building material.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Then lutein, that's abundant in your green leafy vegetables.
Mm.
Spinach, kale, romaine lettuce, collards.
The usual suspects for healthy greens.
Exactly. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts good too. And then think colors, sweet potatoes, carrots, red peppers. They're loaded with antioxidants.
Got it. Okay, so that covers quite a bit. What about zinc and those vitamins, C and E? Where do they fit in?
Right, zinc. You can get that from non-meat proteins like eggs, nuts, beans, also chickpeas. Oysters are a big one. And yogurt.
Okay.
Vitamin C, that's easy citrus fruits. Oranges, nectarines, grapefruit, kiwi. Loads of options.
And vitamin.
Often found in those same healthy fats, nuts, seeds.
Yeah.
And what's great is you see the overlap, right?
Yeah.
Eating this way isn't just good for your eyes, it's good for your whole body.
Makes sense. Now, the source also mentions, well, the flip side, are there foods that maybe aren't so great for eye health?
Yeah, there's some early research looking into this. It suggests that foods high on the glycemic index might not be ideal.
High glycemic index.
Yeah.
So things that spike your blood sugar fast.
Exactly, like white bread, lots of packaged cereals, sugary baked goods, cakes, pastries, that kind of thing.
Okay.
The thinking is that those rapid blood sugar surges could potentially affect the tiny blood vessels in your eyes over time.
So it's less about a strict don't eat this list and more about, shifting towards the healthier stuff. Fruits, veggies, beans, nuts, whole grains like brown rice or whole wheat bread.
That's the idea. Focus on the good stuff.
Okay, cool. So our night's looking better. What's next on the list for protecting our vision?
Moving our bodies. Exercise. It actually benefits your eyes in ways that go beyond just general fitness.
Really? How so?
Well, the general recommendation we often see is aiming for about 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week.
Okay, that's like half an hour, 5 days a week. Seems doable. Brisk walking, maybe, dancing.
Yeah, anything that gets your heart rate up a bit. Even vigorous housework counts.
Ah, good to know. But how does that actually help the eyes specifically?
Pretty interesting. Exercise boosts blood flow and gets more nutrients circulating everywhere, including your eyes.
Ah, okay, better delivery system.
Exactly. And some studies suggest it helps with tissue repair and reduces something called oxidative stress.
Oxidative stress, that's
Yeah.
like cellular wear and tear, right?
Yeah, kind of like rust, yeah.
Hmm.
Harmful compounds build up, damage cells. Exercise seems to help combat that, even in the eyes.
That makes perfect sense. Good circulation is key.
Absolutely. And another big piece is maintaining a healthy weight, which exercise helps with.
Right.
Excess weight can contribute to inflammation throughout the body, and research links that inflammation to a higher risk for cataracts, macular degeneration, and even glaucoma,
And there's the diabetes link too, isn't there? Obesity and type 2 diabetes.
which, as the source points out, is a leading cause of adult blindness. It's a huge factor.
Wow.
Consistently high blood sugar over time can really wreck those small blood vessels in the retina.
So managing weight through diet and exercise has a direct protective effect on vision.
Definitely. And look, while 150 minutes is a good goal, the source is clear. Any amount of exercise is better than none. Just build more movement into your day.
Good advice. Okay, so we've covered diet, exercise. Now for one that, well, we hear about constantly for overall health, but the source says it's particularly damaging for eyes: smoking.
Oh, absolutely. The evidence there is just overwhelming. Smoking significantly cranks up your risk for a whole host of eye problems.
Like what specifically?
We're talking a much higher chance of developing cataracts, damage to the optic nerve, macular degeneration,
Yeah.
not to mention all the other health issues it causes.
It's just bad news all around. But it's famously hard to quit, right?
Yeah,
Nicotine addiction is powerful.
it really is. This source mentions how nicotine actually changes your brain chemistry, creating those intense cravings. And quitting often brings withdrawal, irritability, trouble concentrating, maybe sleep problems.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to remember those effects are temporary. They do pass.
And the guide offers some practical tips for getting through it, like finding replacements for the habit.
Exactly. When a craving hits, try texting a friend, putting on some music you love, taking a quick walk around the block, anything to shift your focus.
Distraction techniques.
Yeah. And importantly, don't get discouraged if it takes a few tries. That's really common. And seeking help from a doctor. Even just a brief chat can seriously boost your chances of quitting successfully. They have resources, strategies.
It's really good to know there's solid support available. Okay, let's pivot. Protecting our eyes from the outside world. The sun.
Yes, UV radiation. Shielding your eyes is essential. And here's the thing, even on cloudy days.
Really? The UV still gets through?
Oh yeah, those rays penetrate clouds. And that cumulative exposure over time really adds up, increasing your risk for both cataracts and macular degeneration later on.
So, sunglasses are more than just fashion. They're actual protective equipment.
Definitely.
What should you look for when buying them?
The absolute key is finding a pair that blocks 100% of UV rays. Look for labels that say 100% UVA UV protection or UV 400.
UV 400, got it.
Both UVA and UVB can cause damage, so you want protection from both. And wraparound styles, they're great because they block rays coming in from the sides too.
What about polarized lenses? I hear about those a lot. Do they offer UV protection?
Good question. Polarization cuts down on glare, which is fantastic for comfort, especially around water or snow.
Oh, okay.
But polarization itself doesn't guarantee UV protection. You still need to check that the lenses also have that UV 400 or 100% UV blocking feature.
So two different things. Got it.
Right. And one more point. Even if your contact lenses have UV protection built in, which some do, sunglasses still provide an extra important layer of defense for the whole eye area.
Good point. Okay, so sun protection is covered, but the sun isn't the only external threat, right? What about physical injuries?
Absolutely. And the numbers here are kind of shocking. The source says around 2,000 people in the U.S. injure their eyes at work every single day.
2,000 a day. Wow. What kind of jobs are highest risk?
Think construction, plumbing, woodworking, mining, auto repair, farming, landscaping. Even healthcare workers face risks from splashes or flying debris.
So in those fields, protective eyewear isn't optional, it's essential.
Non-negotiable. We're talking safety glasses or goggles, specifically made from shatter-resistant materials like polycarbonate. They need to be designed for impact.
And it's not just work, right? Sports too.
Definitely. Sports like ice hockey, racquetball, lacrosse, big risk of eye injury there.
Yeah.
Helmets with certified face shields or specific sports goggles are crucial.
What if you wear regular
You
glasses?
should talk to your eye doctor about getting prescription safety glasses or sports goggles. Regular glasses usually aren't strong enough to provide adequate protection in those situations.
Safety first. Makes total sense. Okay, shifting gears again. Something most of us deal with daily now. Screens. Computers, phones, tablets, and blue light.
Ah, yes, the digital age dilemma.
Hmm.
Staring at screens for long hours can definitely cause problems. Eye strain, blurry vision, trouble focusing sometimes, dry eyes, headaches, even neck and shoulder pain from posture.
Yeah, I think many of us can relate to that list. And the blue light aspect, there's a lot of talk about that. Is it really harmful long term?
Well, our eyes aren't great at filtering out blue light naturally. And there is some research, still ongoing really, suggesting that prolonged exposure could potentially damage retinal cells over time,
Mm-hmm.
possibly increasing the risk down the road for things like macular degeneration and maybe cataracts. But more study is needed to be definitive.
Okay, so potential long-term concern.
Yeah.
What about the immediate effects like eye strain and dryness?
A big factor there is blinking. We just don't blink as much when we're focused on a screen. Our blink rate can drop by like half or more.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And less blinking means your eyes dry out faster. That
Mm.
leads to that gritty, stinging feeling, maybe blurry vision, and makes wearing contacts uncomfortable. That's dry eye disease, or DED.
Okay, so what can we actually do about all the screen-related discomfort? The source must have some tips.
It does. Lots of practical things. First, make sure your glasses or contact lens prescription is up to date and suitable for computer distance. If you still get strain, maybe ask your eye doctor about computer-specific glasses. Position your screen properly, ideally at eye level or just slightly below.
Okay.
Minimize glare from windows or lights. Maybe use an anti-glare screen filter. Make sure your chair is comfortable, feet flat on the floor. Good posture helps.
What about the dry eyes from not blinking?
Make a conscious effort to blink more often, and use artificial tears if needed. The preservative-free kind are often recommended for frequent use.
And the 20-20-20 rule, I've heard of that.
Yes, classic advice for a reason. Every 20 minutes, look away from your screen at something at least 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. Give your focusing muscles a break,
Simple enough.
and also try to take a longer break, maybe 15 minutes every couple of hours.
Hmm.
Get up, walk around. Good for your eyes and your body.
Those all sound like really manageable habits. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. What about just basic everyday hygiene for healthy eyes?
Simple stuff, but really important. Top of the list. Wash your hands frequently and properly.
Because we touch our faces so much.
Constantly. Way more than we realize. Studies show it's hundreds, even thousands of times a day for some people. Washing hands reduces transferring germs, bacteria, viruses to your eyes.
Good reminder. What else? Sharing things.
Yeah, avoid sharing personal items that touch your eyes or face. Towels, washcloths, sleep masks, pillowcases, sheets, and especially eye makeup.
Ah, makeup. Good point.
Sharing makeup can easily spread infections like conjunctivitis, pink eye. And always take your makeup off before bed. Sleeping in it can cause irritation, clog glands. Plus, old or expired makeup can harbor bacteria.
Ugh, okay. Definitely taking makeup off. What about contact lens wearers? Any specific hygiene rules there?
Oh, absolutely crucial for contacts.
Mhm.
Always wash hands thoroughly before touching your lenses. Use fresh disinfecting solution every single day. Never top it off or reuse old solution.
Right.
Replace your storage case regularly. The recommendation is usually every 3 months. And stick strictly to the replacement schedule for your lenses daily, weekly, monthly, whatever your doctor prescribed.
Don't try to stretch them out longer.
Definitely not. Wearing them longer than recommended increases the risk of micro scratches on your cornea, protein buildup, and serious infections. Not worth the risk.
Okay, solid advice. These are all great habits. But to really catch problems early, what's the single most important proactive step?
Regular, comprehensive eye exams, no question. For everyone, adults, kids.
Why are they so critical?
Because they don't just check your vision, if you need glasses. They allow the eye doctor to detect eye diseases, often before you have any symptoms.
Like glaucoma.
Exactly. Glaucoma often has no early warning signs, but an exam can pick up changes in eye pressure or the optic nerve. Early detection means early treatment, which is key to preserving sight. Same for diabetic retinopathy, macular degeneration.
Makes sense. Now, the source mentions two types of eye doctors, ophthalmologists and optometrists. What's the main difference?
Sure. An ophthalmologist is a medical doctor, an MD, who specializes in eye care. They can do everything: comprehensive exams, diagnose and treat all eye diseases, prescribe meds, perform eye surgery.
Okay, they do surgery.
Right. An optometrist has a Doctor of Optometry degree, an OD. That's 4 years of specialized training after college. They do comprehensive eye exams, diagnose and treat most eye diseases, often with medication, prescribe glasses and contacts, but they generally don't perform major surgery.
So both are qualified for routine exams and managing many conditions.
Yes, both play vital roles in eye care. For a routine checkup or managing common conditions, either is usually great.
Got it. And what actually happens during one of these comprehensive exams? What can you expect?
Well, they'll start by asking about your health history, your family's eye history, any medications you take, any vision concerns you have.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll test your visual acuity. That's the eye chart test for nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism. They'll check how your eyes work together, test your peripheral vision.
Okay.
They'll also likely measure the pressure inside your eyes. That's the glaucoma test. And very importantly, they'll examine the health of the front and back of your eye, including the optic nerve and retina.
Do they usually need to dilate your pupils for that?
Often, yes. Using dilating eye drops widens your pupils, giving the doctor a much clearer, wider view of the inside structures, like the retina and macula. It's really important for spotting subtle signs of disease. Your vision will be blurry and light sensitive for a few hours afterwards, though.
Good to plan for that then. Okay, how often should we be getting these exams? Does it change with age?
It does. General guidelines, assuming you're low risk,
Hmm.
maybe one exam in your 20s, perhaps two in your 30s, then definitely a baseline exam around age 40.
Why age 40 specifically?
That's when some early signs of age-related changes or diseases might start appearing, even without symptoms. So that baseline exam helps establish your eye health, and the doctor will then recommend how often you should follow up based on those results and your risk factors.
And for older adults?
Once you hit 65, the recommendation is typically every 1 to 2 years. But again, that depends on your individual health.
What about people with higher risk, like diabetes or a family history of eye disease?
Ah, yes. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, a family history of conditions like glaucoma or macular degeneration, or if you wear contact lenses, you'll likely need exams more frequently, often annually. Your doctor will tell you.
And obviously, if you notice any changes in your vision, get an injury, or suspect an infection, go see someone right away.
Absolutely. Don't wait for your scheduled checkup in those cases. And for kids, eye exams are crucial too. Check with your pediatrician for the recommended schedule, starting from infancy.
Really comprehensive guidance there. Okay, one area people often ask about is vitamins and supplements specifically for eye health. What's the verdict from the source?
It acknowledges that, yes, certain vitamins and minerals like A, C, E, copper, zinc, lutein, zeaxanthin show potential in some studies for protecting eyes or slowing down certain diseases. The ART studies for macular degeneration are probably the most well-known example.
So they can help.
They might, particularly for specific conditions like moderate to advanced AMD.
Hmm.
But the source emphasizes a couple of key things. First, more research is still needed for many claims. Second, for most people without diagnosed deficiencies or specific high-risk conditions, a healthy, balanced diet probably provides enough of these nutrients anyway.
So don't just rush out and buy eye supplements.
Exactly. The strong advice is always talk to your doctor before starting any supplement.
Why is that so important?
Well, supplements can interact with other medications you might be taking. Also, taking very high doses of certain vitamins can actually be harmful. Your doctor can assess if you truly need a supplement and recommend the right type and dose, if any.
So focus on food first. Talk to your doctor before supplementing.
That's the bottom line. Get your nutrients from whole foods whenever possible.
Makes sense. Now, you mentioned conditions like macular degeneration and cataracts. Our listener was specifically interested in the main causes of vision loss in older adults. What does the source identify?
For people aged 40 and over, the big four, the most common causes of significant vision loss are diabetic retinopathy, cataracts, age-related macular degeneration, AMD, and glaucoma.
Okay, those four again, which really highlights why those regular exams we talked about are so critical, right? To catch these things early.
Precisely. Early detection and management make a massive difference in preventing severe vision loss from these conditions.
This has been incredibly insightful. So much practical information packed in here. If we had to boil it all down, what's the main takeaway message for someone listening?
I think the core message is really empowering. It's that taking care of your eyes, preventing vision loss. It's not about huge, overwhelming changes.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
about making consistent, informed, proactive choices every day. Eating well, moving your body, definitely not smoking, protecting your eyes from sun and injury, being smart about screen time, practicing good hygiene,
And getting those regular eye exams.
and getting those
Yeah.
regular eye exams. Exactly. It's the sum of those small, manageable habits.
Absolutely. It really puts a lot of control back in our hands, which is fantastic. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about everything we've covered, what's just one small thing, one simple step you feel you could take, maybe starting this week, to show your eyes a little extra care?
Yeah, maybe it's adding that handful of spinach to your smoothie.
Or finally booking that eye appointment you keep putting off?
Or just remembering to look up from your computer screen every 20 minutes.
Little things.
Those little consistent actions,
Yeah.
they really do add up to healthier vision for the long run.